The Daily Take. It's time for Geraldo Rivera. It's good to see you as always, Geraldo. And
hey,
you know, the snap. You know, it's interesting because, like I said, 42 million. When I first heard the number, you know, when our coverage began of this, I said that is a lot. Even Shapiro was on saying 1 in 8 in Pennsylvania, it's 2 million there, received these benefits, the food stamps. Now it looks like maybe the president might have to find some money to keep paying them. And I've been wondering, and I think a lot of people have, if this is what kind of breaks things on the government shutdown. We'll see. What do you think?
You mean whether the courts can force a resolution?
Or whether even if they don't, the Congress says, all right, we got to figure something out here. If the courts make the president pay, maybe it's more likely it extends. I don't know.
This whole thing totally sucks. I have to say that in no uncertain terms. This is horrible. And as you went through the numbers, not just the SNAP, but the kids, the Head Start. Imagine Head Start losing its funding. Kids, you know, the whole family is planning on the child going to the school or to the daycare center during the day. What do they do now? You have, as you mentioned, there's 2 federal judges, Rhode Island and Massachusetts, who have ordered the federal government to use its emergency funding to keep these programs going. What is obvious, and as you have been reporting, Connell, is that there's just not enough in the emergency basket to keep these things, these programs going for very, very much longer, but very deep into November, certainly. So it's worrisome. It's distasteful. You lose your faith in government. It's just something that, and these are grown adults doing this. These are, you know, not fly-by-night kids. These people know what they're doing. Thune and Schumer and Hakeem Jeffries and Mike Johnson. These are veteran legislators. They know exactly what's going on, and they just pointing at the other guy. You do it first. You do it first. Don't me. No, you. And what is lost in the equation is the suffering of you know, vulnerable population. It's just it's obscene. What's a kid who wants to think about running for president someday? He's watching these legislators, these names everybody knows, just playing a game. Playing a game, whose is bigger? Playing a game, and here's where we end up. You know,
which is always what we do. But think about where we are kind of in this country, big picture. If you just, whatever they do, they'll have to get something figured out hopefully soon. But we were just talking last hour. There's many people, and some, it's not just like the Elon Musks of the world. It's like you and I of the world that, you know, if you're invested in the stock market over the years, you're doing great, okay, because it's at a record high. And now these numbers highlight how many people are not doing great. You know, people working with jobs, working middle class, working middle poor, whatever label you want to put on it. And now we're having these conversations, and no wonder we are, by the way, in New York City about what we need to do about it. Affordability, everybody, you know, maybe the Mamdani solutions are not what some people like, but the problem's been identified. So anyway, Mike Johnson was asked about and was speaking about Mamdani and whether there's a larger kind of movement growing that is socialist in nature, maybe as a result of some of this. But anyway, here's what the speaker said.
SNAP and Medicaid and these other programs were intended to be a temporary safety net to help people to get back on their feet, but they have been abused. And there are some big government advocates like the Marxists, like the socialists, who want the government to take over everything and supply everything for everybody. But guess what? If the government can give you everything, it can take it away as well, and your freedom is sacrificed. Socialism, don't get me started, has been a great scourge on humanity.
Great scourge on humanity, the Marxists, and he says New York's just the tip of the iceberg in all of this. So again, this is the big picture, the arguments about what we should do. What do you say?
Well, I'm glad that he had his chance to vent. I just wish that he would be more effective in terms of getting government back on its feet. It's easy to moan and groan, you know, when you're putting the blame on the other side and ignoring your own role being played in this impasse. Well, I got news for the speaker. Yes, 22% of Democrats, according to Pew, are using the SNAP benefits. It's so what's that? 1 in 5, more or less. But 10% of Republicans are also using SNAP. a lot of those big red states, the rural states where families have a very tough time making ends meet. And the fact that the government is kind to a sense. I mean, you need checks and balances. I applauded Elon Musk and that whole Doge effort. It was heavy-handed and seemed ill-timed and, without lacking experience. But I like the ethos of it. I like the fact that they were conscious of the fact that government is wasting money and spending too much money and maybe hiring too many people to do a particular task that's unnecessary. I'm all for making the buck go as far as I can, but also there's people in this country, and you've been reporting it, I think, very eloquently, Connell, that people who aren't high rollers, who don't have hybrid Bentleys, who are not deeply invested other than a college fund maybe for their kids or grandkids. And I think when you look at Mamdani and what happened in New York and these kids turning out, yes, Gaza played a role, there's no doubt about that. But, there is the affordability crisis is exactly that. It is a crisis. It's a crisis where you can't go to a restaurant. You can't go, not even go to a restaurant. You go to the markets. You try and get order the bulk stuff. Now, what's the lady with the void SNAP card going to do tomorrow? All right, the kids are home now. All right, Saturday. What are they going to eat Saturday night?
That's the question.
What about, that's Sunday. And then you're into next week. And everybody now is looking to the election on Tuesday. So that, it keeps, but the little lady with the SNAP card is the one who's going to be left behind. I think that it's deplorable. It really, it's something that's so frustrating. You understand why people hate politicians.
Yeah, they move money around for the troops, and now the judge says they should do the same here. So maybe that's a patch for a little while, but big picture, Congress has got to figure something out. Thank you, Geraldo, as always, the great Geraldo Rivera. Thank you for watching. Subscribe below and download our NewsNation app right now on your phone, and you will get fact-based, unbiased news for all Americans.